I think week to week in the NFL, we have a lot of new players, new blood. You love the young players who are making a name for themselves. You see Justin Jefferson making these great catches. You're seeing, guys like Justin Fields finally starting to, I guess, turn a corner in a loss. But it seems that they finally have an offense that's geared toward his skill set. So you get excited about those. I feel like we can't get lost. We cannot get lost. And I think it's more recency bias. It's something that we see sometimes in the NBA possibly. And this isn't like a LeBron James segment, but this is more about sometimes when you see things once or twice, you just get accustomed to it, right? I remember someone asked LeBron James, I believe it was like after a finals appearance, like, LeBron, like, why are you guys, or how would you grade your performance? Do you think you could play better? And he was like, I had 38, 13 and 8, you know what I mean? Like, what more do you want me to do? But we expect so much greatness from certain players. And then when we get it, we think that's just the norm, right? You believe it's the norm. And I just bring that up because so much about the young and upcoming quarterbacks and young players, and I get it. But Patrick Mahomes is what he's doing week in and week out. Are we truly, truly understanding that? Man. When guys on the sideline say, I'm him, like Patrick Mahomes is, I'm him. I am that guy. I am that dude. Yesterday, 26 of 35, 331 yards, 4 touchdowns. And to me, you remember when he went through that slump last year? Remember the Chiefs they couldn't put some points up there. He was throwing interceptions all over the place. And I remember somebody said the league has caught up to Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that?
That was a thing.
I'm still old enough to remember that, Brock.
That was a thing, man. That was a thing.
Oh, the league caught up to him. I said, wait, how do you catch up to a guy who's just good? To me, I feel like he's not even in his prime yet. That's the crazy part. I don't even think he's in his prime. He's
27.
The prime ages for a quarterback, I believe, is starting next year, right? 28 to 33. Is that the prime?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Tom Brady's already killed all that. We know that. Yeah. But I think
generally speaking, it's like 28 to 33.
Tom's an anomaly, though.
Right, but what would we say? Aaron Rodgers. Where's his prime? When did his prime start? Because he kind of got a late start, because he had to sit out 3 years.
He got a late start. Aaron Rodgers had about a 10-year prime.
Yeah, about a 10-year prime.
MVP, Super Bowl.
I think Patrick Mahomes will start to enter his prime. And I feel like he gets lost in the news stories. It's like, Patrick Mahomes just had a Patrick Mahomes day. And we expect that, so we move on from it. Right? We don't sit there and it is difficult to play at the height or at the position that he's playing, and he makes it look easy. He connected with 9 different guys on an offense. Kadarius Toney was an afterthought in New York with the Giants, and now he's one of the prime receivers. He's about to be a superstar in this offense.
He was out there playing hopscotch when he got that touchdown.
I mean, Isaiah Pacheco, the running back, right? Clyde Edwards-Helaire was a first-round pick for them, and yet he's not even in the rotation, it seems like, at running back. It's a defense that got better. And I'm not saying the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl, but when you hit on the quarterback, you start to see some of the pieces that are around him. And I feel like we're just kind of overlooking the Chiefs because it's a story that we expect him to be late in the season. But I know a lot of people were on the Buffalo Bills bandwagon, and I'm saying it's good, but I see the mistakes that Josh Allen has made, and I'm looking at Patrick Mahomes' mistakes, and he doesn't make those same mistakes. And it's different. I feel like we're just overlooking Patrick Mahomes to a point where, to me, he's the MVP of the league right now. Like last week, I said, it was Jalen Hurts. And then I'm saying, okay, what Patrick Mahomes is doing, adding some of the players that he's added to his offense and still continuing to go. It's like, how do you stop what he's doing? Because it's just every single weekend. I don't have to look at a box score. I just look at the game, and I'm saying, that's the best player on the field. That's the best player in the NFL. And it should be a resounding yes, but I think, are we cooling off on the Mahomes story? Is it still fun for us? Is it exciting, or is it more of the Jalen Hurts and his fantasy numbers, right? Because we're in a fantasy world. So what excites us is fantasy numbers. And is it not enough what Patrick Mahomes is doing?
I think it's super fun to see new players come up and do something fun and exciting. That's kind of what we're seeing in Hurts. We're finally seeing it in Tua. I think, like you said, because he won an MVP at such a young age. He threw the 50 touchdowns in his first full year as a starter. Won the Super Bowl. It's just kind of like, oh, we've seen this before. But like you said, only 27. But I think if they do it this year, if they go back to the Super Bowl, we're going to see it because it's without Tyreek Hill, who everyone thought this guy was so important to their offense. But Mahomes is first in yards, first in touchdowns. He's second in QBR. He's fourth in passer rating. Like, the guy leads in yards per game. It's just what he's doing this year. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And, like, I think we get it, and we're not casual about how great Patrick Mahomes is. But if you're just like, if you have Chiefs fatigue or something like that, then maybe you're not paying as much attention to it.
Also, he kind of did it himself, right? He is that good. He's that good. So it's like you see these numbers and you go, all right, bet, cool. Like, that's what I expect. You brought up LeBron, right? LeBron's won 4 MVPs. Realistically, how many MVPs should LeBron have?
Right.
He could have 8.
8, 9.
You know
10?
what I mean? But so I think, we do get to a point with some of these guys where they set their own bar so high that we're like, Patrick Mahomes had 4 touchdowns and 400 yards on Sunday. I tell you this on Monday, and your response is,
man, cool.
Bet.
I'm glad I didn't play against him in fantasy.
Right. It's just like he's reached
cool,
that point, I think, in sports, and there's not a whole lot of these guys where just like, no matter what they do, it's like, okay, yeah, I believe that, sure, because he's that good.
But then I tell you, Justin Fields had 167 yards in the air, 1 throwing touchdown, and on the ground, 13 carries for 147 and 2 rushing touchdowns. He's like, what? Justin Fields did what? Oh, my.
Because he hasn't reached that point. Though.
But that, too, like, everyone thought the Bears were going to be a bottom 5 team in the league.
Right.
Like, Justin Fields is just getting his ass kicked on every play because his line stinks. I can't name one of his receivers. Maybe we drafted David Montgomery in fantasy, and that's it. Like, Cole, how do you pronounce his last name? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, that's the type of deal. And now he's on a pace to break Lamar Jackson's quarterback rushing record for a season. Like, this, it's so exciting. So new is also fresh, but let's not forget how awesome Patrick Mahomes is. And, like, the dude still has maybe 10, 12 more years to play.
And Chris Brockman a few months ago, he was, which I was like, pump your brakes on this. He was putting Patrick Mahomes on his quarterback Mount Rushmore.
Are we back?
I still say pump your brakes on that right now. As of right now, that's how good this guy's already is. This guy's saying he's already on the Mount Rushmore. So,
change the game.
You know, Mahomes is just great.
I mean, trust me, if he retired tomorrow, if he said, I'm done with football, is he not a first ballot Hall of Famer yet? Is he not?
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.